Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making for you today is marshmallow squares. I've had a few requests for this one and I thought it'd be great to bring it now because it's close to Valentine's and you might need to have a dessert that you'd like to have. It's kind of fun and very tasty. And I can remember making these years ago with my sister-in-law in a little bakery called Barrett's Bakery in Upper Island Cove in '84. Seems like a long time ago, but I must say we had fun making it then, and I'm going to show you how to make it, and we're going to have fun making it today. These marshmallow squares got a few steps, but not too difficult, and it's made with gelatin. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start and show you the first step. We're going to use one package of gelatine, and it comes in a package of 4, and you can also get it in a little container, which you would probably use about a tablespoonful. 3/4 of a cup of cold water into a bowl. Then you can open up your gelatine and just sprinkle it in the bowl. Whisk it around just a little, just for it to dissolve. And that's the first step. So you just put this to the side for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so now what we'll do, we got the first step done. I'm going to reach for one that I've already got set, and it started to gel, and that was about 5 minutes. And if you forget about it and it's there for 10-15 minutes, that's fine. So now let's get on the next step where we pour it into our saucepan, and I'll show you what we'll do next. Okay, so now we're going to take our already set gelatin and pour it into a saucepan. So what we're basically doing here now, we're going to get it ready because we need to get this heated up to just until it starts to condense all of the ingredients I'm putting in here, which is 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and that's white sugar, and 1/8 of a teaspoonful of salt. And you just put that in there and stir it, and we're going to put it on a damper now, so that the stove top, so that we can get it to start to heat. So pretty much what I'm doing here now is just stirring the sugar and the salt into the gelatin, and I'm just waiting for it to all condense down, not to a thick substance, but just till it all dissolves in the gelatin and starts to warm, and then I'm going to take it off the damper. So that should take maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So now this is good to take off the heat, and what I'm going to do now, it's nice and hot. What I'm going to do now is add in the confectioners sugar, which is icing sugar, powdered sugar, and I'll show you that. So we're going to be adding in 3/4 of a cup of the confectioners sugar, which is powdered sugar, powdered icing sugar, and we're going to stir it all in like this. It's warm in there, it's hot, and this is going to dissolve this sugar into the gelatin. It's got white sugar, it's got salt, and that's all is added at this point in the water. So it's going to look something like this. Now what you're going to do, you're going to convert this into a mixing bowl, and then you're going to set it to the side. So we're going to take the liquid with all of the ingredients that we put into it and put into what I call a mixing bowl, because what you're going to do, once it's all cooled down, you're going to be ready to mix. So what you're going to do now is just set this one to the side and let it cool. And I got one all ready to go, and I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to mix this a little and until it just gets a little foamy, and then we're going to add in 3 more ingredients. So I'm just going to start mixing here first. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put 3/4 of a teaspoonful of vanilla. So once you see that it's a little foamy there, that's when you're going to start doing that. We're going to put in 3/4 of a teaspoonful of baking powder, and we're going to be putting in a couple of dashes of food coloring. I'm using yellow. You could use whatever color. So I got about 4 or 5 little pinches there. And now we're going to start blending. Okay, so what I'm doing here now, I'm going to blend it on a high speed with my blender. And it's got to blend for 10 to 15 minutes. So keep doing that. Don't get impatient. You'll see little peaks. And then once you get to that stage and I get to my stage, I'm going to show you what's next. Alright, so this is all it got to look like. So now what we're going to do is scoop it into our pan. Okay, so that's them many steps, which it didn't take very long to do what we did. And as you can see, look how good it looks and nice and fluffy. I'm going to put some coconut now in the bottom of my pan. This pan might be a little bit too big. If you had a bit of a smaller square pan, it's fine, because this makes about 3 to 4 cups after you use the amount that I showed you. Plus I'm going to toast a little bit of my coconut, just put it on a medium damper and let it brown off there with nothing in it, just the coconut onto the pan. So we'll let that toast off. Every now and then I'll just move it around because I want to sprinkle it over the top of the one that I already got done. So now let's scoop this into our pan. Okay, so just scoop it all into the pan you want to put it into, because we're going to cut these out in squares. But if you don't have a square pan, you could use whatever you got there available. There's no baking to this, so you could even have it in a plastic container. It doesn't matter. So just scoop it all out like this. So after you get it all scooped into your square pan, just spread it out nice and evenly. Now I just put in a yellow food coloring, but you can put in whatever color. Of course I got 3 more colors there I could have used. It's pretty boring, I know, the one that I decided on, but I just like the yellow one. So I'm just going to take this off there. So try to get all of it into your pan. So it looks something like that. And I did toast off the coconut after, and this is what it looks like. And it smells so nice and nutty in here. Now you're going to sprinkle some white coconut over this one. I don't want anything that's hot over it. And you're just going to go like this. Okay, so you can sprinkle as much coconut over it as you like, and after it's set you could put tons of more over it. So this is pretty much all you're going to do for this. You can also, if you'd like to do it, which I never done on this video, you can make a crust, a graham cracker crust for the bottom, and you don't need to bake that as well. Just sprinkle some graham crackers in the bottom. But I like it like this because it's really fun. I'm going to put it in the fridge now and leave it there for about 6 to 8 hours, or you can forget about it and leave it overnight and cut it up in the morning. But I got one done and I'm going to show you what that one looks like. Now we're at the final stage of making our marshmallow squares, which in Newfoundland they call them all sorts of names. Fuzzy tops and coconut squares, I mean you name it. But I'm calling it today marshmallow squares because that's what me and my sister-in-law would call them. And what we're going to do now is cut out squares. So this is the one that's already set, and as you can see I already got one cut out there because I couldn't resist. And you just cut it out in squares like this. So you're pretty much just cutting these in little tiny squares. You're going to loosen the sides with the knife. You're going to go around like this. Now I made the toasted coconut, and the reason for that, I wanted to have it to sprinkle over the top of the one that I already had made. This is the one here. I didn't want to put it over the other one because it was still, the coconut was still warm. I also made some coconut with a little bit of food coloring in it, and I got a design of a heart that you could kind of make a little fancy design in your plate like this if you're making it for Valentine's or whatever special occasion. Now what I'm going to do is take out a couple of these and I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is one. I'm just going to put a couple on the plate and then we'll give you a zoom in for you to see. So now that we got toasted coconut over the top, I want to put a little bit of that pink coconut around the sides to look something like this. So we're going to continue on doing that. I'm going to pull out another one out of this little pan, roll it in the coconut that I put a little bit of food coloring, and do the same thing. Just look how lovely they look. Very decorative, you know. So that's how quick and easy it is to make these marshmallow squares, and I hope you found this episode helpful for you today. So pretty much when it's set like this, you can serve them. You could keep them out at room temperature until they're gone, or you can put them in the fridge up to a week, or freeze them if you want it for a later time. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Bonita's Kitchen. You can go to my YouTube channel, and up at the top right hand corner just hit the subscribe button and it will prompt you to what you need to do. You can also visit me on Facebook or www.bonitaskitchen.com. So thank you for joining me for Bonita's Kitchen today. From my kitchen to yours, you have a lovely day.